Well, today we're going to play with something a little bit different here. This is just a quick job that came in that it's a little bit of custom machine work or whatever. I've done it a few other times for other people. What it is, this is a Nissan 720 spindle, okay? Now this isn't technically the correct spindle. I should be using a hardbody spindle, but the biggest difference between the 720 and the hardbody spindle is the placement of these holes, okay? The 720 rotor, if you can see that there, that has a much shorter top hat than the hardbody rotor, okay? The hardbody and the 720 both use exactly the same caliper, dimensionally the same hub. The rotor, so because the 720's top hat is shorter, the rotor is further out this way, so the caliper is mounted further out this way. On the hard body, it pushes everything back in and makes rim fitment a little easier. That's also why when you go to get drop spindles, you can't find them for the 720. So basically what you do is you, and this is completely off topic, but basically what you do is order hard body drop spindles and bolt them right onto your 720, because dimensionally it's the same ball joints, same spacing, same angles, same tie rod ends, everything. They just bolt right in. You can use your same caliper, your same hub. You just simply have to go get new hard body rotors, and then you can put drop spindles on your 720. Completely superfluous information for what we're playing with today. Anyway, what the deal is Niz720 on infamousnissan.com got a hold of me a few years ago. I guess it's been 3, maybe 4 years ago now. And he wanted to be able to put Toyota hubs on his hard body spindle. Okay, guys were doing it, and they were killing the bearings, evidently. And the reason for that is that this hub is too long. Okay, let me show you here. All right, so what we're talking about with being too long here is when you put the washer and nut on, it doesn't give you enough room. Okay, it doesn't thread on very well, and I don't even have the star holder here handy. I've got one laying around, but as you can see, you can't even get the cotter pin in. Okay, everything's just too far out. Okay, so what some guys were doing was machining the spindle. Well, that's a royal pain in the butt. Machining it and also trying to find somebody to do it. Okay, so what they were doing is they were machining this shelf back, making everything just a little bit longer. Well, rather than go through that headache, what he figured out was, we were talking together, and I explained to him about cutting the bearing shelf back to get that space, okay? So he came up with the dimensions and the measurements and everything. We'll go over those here in just a second, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to push the shelf that the bearing sits on, the race, we're going to push it in on both sides so that the distance between the bearings shortens up a little bit, and it'll mount on here correctly. And then you get 5 lug on here. All right, here's the Nissan hub. Put the bearing in. And you see how you can see the shelf right there, the end of the axle basically. So it turns out the crown piece I was looking for is just sitting right there. So now when you put the nut on, you've got lots of room. And if you can't quite see where the hole is, that's right there. Plenty of room. So you put this on, walk it around until you find a spot, and good to go. All right, so we want to make the Toyota rim, the Toyota hub, fit the same way. So let's take a couple measurements and double check exactly what we need to, how much we need to move the bearing shelves. Okay, so I pulled this block out just to make things a little easier. I'm going to set the bearing on there. we're going to start with our target dimension, which is the Nissan hub. Okay, what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to measure from that flat surface, which is what you can just barely make it out there, that touches up against the back here on the spindle. Okay, so we got that on there. We're going to drop this bearing in because that's our comparison as to where that is. So let's run the calipers down. Got them long enough they're touching this block down here. Just go down and touch them down. I got 3.162. Might be a little bit more than that, but it's right in that ballpark. So we'll start there. 3.16. Now let's swap it out for the Toyota. And if I didn't mention it before, they use exactly the same bearings. This bearing is used in tons of trucks. The Dodge Ram D50, the Chevy Love, Toyota, pretty sure the Ford Rangers, all the 720, any of the disc Datsuns, disc 620 on through the Hardbody and stuff. So, and we're not as concerned with what that dimension is as much as the difference between the two. So, and anywhere within 10-15 thou, we had, you know, quite a bit of room there left. So 3.340. So the dimensions he gave me, which is what I'm going to cut them to, because they're on his truck, they're proven, they work, everything's copacetic. 1/16 in the front, which is 0.0625, and 3/32 in the back, which is 0.0937. Now that comes up to 0.156. Okay, so I'm going to be removing a little less metal than what I remembered, what I measured here basically. Okay, about 40 thousandths, actually closer to 30 thousandths. Okay, and whether that 30 thousandths is on the front or the rear or whatever, think about 30 thousandths right there. You know, that's not even, that's half the shit, less than half of what the pencil lead thickness is. I can't even get it over the point there. So that, not much. Insignificant for what we're doing. Okay, all that's been verified. Now I get to drive the races out and clean them. If you're going to reuse them, try to use a brass punch, or be extremely careful with a steel punch. Okay, same technique. We're just going to flip it over. And see how that rises up there? I want to spread that open enough. I don't want it to sit on the radius down here at the bottom. Okay, so I don't want to run it in so tight that it's up on that radius. So we'll just back that out a little bit. That ought to be good. Alright, that one's within a half thou. Alright, that's how the cutout came out. There is no lip there. Alright, I need to cut 1/8 of an inch off, 0.125 off the lip there, and then I need to put that 45-degree bevel back in there. One done. Put the washer on. Plenty of room there. Alright, right here. Okay, now the seal is not going to come out past this end lip of the hub. Okay, and you can see where the other seal rode on here, the Nissan seal, it rides right about there. So if you look at that, you still have perfect seal engagement without having to worry about cutting in the step for the seal. Okay, perfect. Cool. Well, kudos to NIS 720 for figuring it out and coming up with it. So there they are. Front side here is pushed in a 1/16 of an inch. Back side was 3/32. And then this was cutting down 1/8 of an inch and chamfered in. Nice.